Are the parts of a chicken. If you're new to chickens, or if you have friends that have chickens and you want to know what the heck they're talking about, hopefully this will help you figure it out. So these right here, these little dangly bits under the beak, these are waddles. You can have no waddles, in which it actually kind of looks like there's just two little scars underneath the chin. You can have small waddles. You can have medium waddles. Medium waddles would come to about here. You can have large waddles that would come to almost down to here. This is an earlobe. His are only partially white because he's a mixed breed. But if it's all white, that generally means that the chicken will lay white eggs. It's all red. Again, only generally, but it generally means the chicken will lay brown eggs. This up here, I've heard people call it a comb, it's called a comb. I've heard people call it a crown. I don't know if that is a proper term or not, but it's a comb. And this little patch of feathers right here, this is the ear, because you can see underneath it, and he thinks that I'm just scratching his face. There's a little hole right here underneath these feathers. That's the ear. And these feathers go over it to protect it. He's just closing his eyes. He's loving that. He thinks it's special fun time. He thinks it's special fun time, where he gets played with and pet. This is that's the nostril right there. I think that was called like a nair or something. I don't remember. There's another word for it that starts with a C too, which I can't quite remember, but you're never going to have to know anything better than that's a nostril. Cere, that's what it's called. This fleshy bit up here is the cere. The hole itself is the nostril. I don't have to tell you that this is the beak, I hope. So you see this part where these shiny feathers go from here, they go over here, and it's all of this right here. This is a cape. All of this is called the cape. And most people are going to call these hackle feathers, but it's called a cape. Hackle feathers is also appropriate, but if you're talking about the whole thing together, you're talking about the cape. This is what people are talking about when they say that boys have pointy, shiny feathers, and girls have round feathers. These back here, these are the saddle feathers. And this is the rump. And even back here further, these are sickle feathers. And the hens that have that triangular tail, the roosters have that too, but the sickle feathers go over it. These feathers right here are attached to a thumb-like appendage. And I don't know what they're called, but it's a word with a lot of A's and a lot of L's. Like an LL or something like that. And you can see sort of right there. He says, "Stop messing with me. Stop messing with me, Dad." Okay. There we go. No. Camera doesn't like that. There you go. There is a claw on this thumb. Right there. That is a claw. Little tiny claw. You have your feet. Of course you have your feet. This is a spur. And on baby chicks and on females, you'll have a large round scale right here, right above this thumb-like toe. And sometimes it'll even have a little point right in the middle. With girls too. It's not a way to tell girls from boys. That is called a spur bud. Even girls will grow spurs later in life. Usually much, much later, like several years. This right here, the bend, it's what people call a hawk. If you want to impress your friends, this is called a tarsus. And this area right here, this whole long area from the tarsus or the hawk to the toes or phalanges is the metatarsus. This is the metatarsus. And this, we common folk will call this a wrist or a bend in the wing, and it is a carpus. These feathers right here, and they are distinctly different from these ones over here, and they differentiate right here at the bend or the carpus. These are the primaries. These over here are the secondaries. Secondaries are fat and round. They create a parachute effect when birds are flying. These are long and pointed, and up here they'll even bend inwards on each other. These are the primaries. All of these fuzzies that are on top of the primaries and secondaries, these are coverts. And down here, these are also coverts, that fuzzy area underneath the wing. So now, when your friends are talking about combs and waddles and saddle feathers and capes and spurs and hawks, now you can tell them that you know what they're talking about.